Breaker boy. Once a crew of miners had done their work underground, it was the breaker boys who had the unenviable job of sorting the coal from the rock. These boys could be as young as 7 or 8, and aside from the dark, wet, and filthy conditions, they also risked falling into some of the massive machinery around which they worked. In the breakers of the anthracite coal industry there are nearly 18,000 persons employed as slate pickers. The majority of these are boys from the ages of 10 to 14 years. In an investigation conducted in an area where 4,131 persons wholly dependent on the mines lived, we found 64 children employed in and around the mines not 14 years of age. There were 24 boys employed in breakers before they were 12 years of age. Harrier. Harriers were children who worked in pairs to move carts of coal through deep, narrow tunnels. Using a chain attached to his belt, one child would crawl up the tunnel, pulling the cart, while another followed, pushing it from behind. These children worked in dark and wet conditions, spending all day in sopping wet clothing. Climbing boy. No, not someone who explored treehouses. This poor lad was a chimney sweep's apprentice. Most climbing boys were horribly undernourished, a fact that worked in the sweep's favor because it kept the boys small enough to shinny up the flue. In addition to malnutrition, climbing boys often suffered from lung and eye ailments due to the constant exposure to soot and dust. Aside from the immediate dangers and horrendous working conditions of the climbing boys, the nature of their work placed them at a further disadvantage, compared with other apprenticeships. In a meeting held at Birmingham Town Hall in July, 1856, Mayor Hodgson raised the issue of what happened to the boys when they were too big to climb the chimneys. Barber's apprentice. It may not seem that bad to learn to cut hair, but in medieval times, barbers were known as barber surgeons. They were responsible not only for the hair of the clients but the rest of the bodies as well. Barber surgeons bled patients to remove ill humors from the body, amputated limbs, and performed surgeries. The apprentice got to mop up blood and dispose of the remnants of unsavory operations.